What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Sabby. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode. Welcome to my channel, Self Mastery. Today's episode is how to overcome anxiety, how to beat anxiety. I've had anxiety before and I will share everything that has worked for me in this video, so stay tuned until the very end, guys. Especially if this is something that you're struggling with or battling right now, this is the video for you. So watch until the very end, guys. Thank you so much. A disclaimer I do have to make, I am not a licensed therapist. I am also not a licensed psychologist or a doctor of any kind. So please do not take this as medical advice. If you're currently, seeing a doctor or a therapist, definitely take that into consideration, before anything, because obviously, guys, I'm just sharing my own journey with you all. That's it. You can take it for, what I'm presenting you with. Without further ado, let's get started, guys. So the first thing I want to say about anxiety is anxiety starts, in thoughts, in feelings, in emotions, and your body is then a direct reflection of that, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. First, let's talk about the mind, right? So a lot of people that have anxiety, anxiety is just a reflection of having a lot of, anxious thoughts, worrisome thoughts, stressful thoughts throughout the days, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, and all of this accumulates and builds up. And then obviously, a lot of people have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, sometimes, once a day or even twice, 3 times a day. It can get pretty bad. It can get pretty severe for people. Also, people that have gone through trauma or, PTSD or, they've gone through something that's been tragic in their life, or something that's been, some sort of abuse, neglect, could be sexual, could be violent, could be anything, right? And so all of that plays a big role in a person's psyche. So I do first want to say that if you are, currently facing anxiety right now, look at your thoughts, right? Look at your daily thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you focused on? What are your dominant thoughts throughout the day? And as an individual, you should be self-aware. Always self-assess, whether it's, first thing in the morning or the last thing at night before you drift off to sleep. Always self-reflect and self-assess, what kind of thoughts did I hold today? What kind of feelings were, prominent today? And when you start doing that, then you can start figuring out and start, analyzing for yourself. Oh, okay, I've been worried about this. I've been thinking too much about that. I've been stressing over this. And, once you're able to analyze and reflect, then you can finally figure out and finally decide for yourself, hey, I shouldn't be focused on these things. I should start focusing on things that I do desire, things that are working out for me. Because a lot of anxious thoughts stem from this base carnal feeling or emotion that we have of fear. Anxiety is fear related, and if not, anxiety is usually future related, meaning that we're always worried about something in the future, or something that is yet to happen, something that is coming near or coming soon. And that's where the anxiety comes in, whether you have a big presentation tomorrow, or whether you have a big meeting tomorrow, maybe you have a court date coming up, whatever, it could be a multitude of things, but it's always about something in the future. So one thing I will definitely say is learn to, yes, first self-assess, self-reflect, realize and analyze your thoughts. What are you thinking? And then realize that, hey, I don't need to be focused on this right now, especially if it's not something that, is happening to me right now. If it's something that's, coming later on, I can worry about it when it comes. I can think about it when I'm actually going through it, for example, right? Then again, guys, I want you to figure out something that works for you, something that, you can do that can help you cope with this anxiety of the future, so to speak. Also, guys, like I mentioned before, don't focus on the unwanted aspects of things. Start focusing on the wanted aspects of things. Start focusing on, the things that you do desire to happen rather than the things that you don't desire to happen, because there's a very fine line between that. this little, shift in thinking is a lot of times, we focus on what could go wrong, what is going wrong, or we start focusing on all the limitations of something. And, when we get into that, nitpicky kind of way of thinking, then yes, we're going to get stressed out. We're going to start, focusing on, just the hardships, the challenges, the limitations, like I just mentioned, all of that. And that's going to cause us stress. That's going to cause us worry, nervousness, anxiousness, and a lot of people think like this. A lot of people don't have control over their thinking. They don't really have this mastery over their thoughts, which is very crucial for a man or any woman, any person, any human being to have, mastery over their thoughts and emotions, because emotions are just energy in motion, meaning the thoughts that you've been thinking throughout the day, right? They gather up momentum, gathering up energy, and then all that energy in motion just, correlates a feeling. And then guess what? Stressful thoughts are going to lead you to feeling stressed. Worrisome thoughts are going to lead you to feeling worried. Rather, guys, start focusing on thoughts that make you feel good. Thoughts of, it doesn't even have to be about whatever particular subject it is. Just start focusing on something good going on in your life, right? Maybe, somebody brought you flowers, or maybe, you did your direct deposit hit this morning, right? And you have money in the bank. It could be as simple as, you have food on the table, right? Or you can drive a car and you have access to technology, things like that. Anything you can be, you can think about and feel good. Focus on that, guys. The reason I say this is because let's get into the second part, which is law of attraction, guys. Law of attraction yields to you experiences and situations that are a direct reflection of where your dominant thought processes have been, where your emotions have been. So guys, if you're thinking anxious thoughts over and over and over again, or feeling anxious feelings over and over and over again, then eventually law of attraction will start yielding to you more experiences, more situations that cause you to feel more anxiety, more stress, more worry, more nervousness. It becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's all because this is the law of the universe, right? What you focus on grows. What you focus on becomes bigger. So guys, try to find a way to get your mind off of those things. Start listening to some podcasts, start reading, some books, start listening to some audiobooks, start, taking some time to listen to some music. Music can really make you feel good. Music has, this frequential power to heal. It has this frequential power to put you in a different state of vibration, and you can just completely let go of those anxious thoughts, Let's get into number 3, which is bioenergetics. So now I talked about the mind, I talked about the psyche, but now sometimes if you have trauma within yourself, this trauma could be childhood trauma, sexual trauma, maybe you have been a victim of rape, or maybe you have been a victim of war. It could be, just a bunch of situations, maybe you've, gone through something violent, maybe, you were in like a fight, whatever, right? There's a lot of it, and my heart goes out to everybody, that trauma can sometimes, if not all the time, get stuck in your body, right? If you've experienced something traumatic, it definitely develops this, it stores itself in your subconscious, in your memory, right? You see the subconscious and memory are interlinked. The memory is a part of your subconscious. And so the subconscious, for the sake of this video, the subconscious is your body, right? Your somatic intelligence, it runs everything, and you don't control your body, guys. I just want to let you know that all the processes that are happening in your body, you have no direct control over that consciously. All of that is happening subconsciously. So the body is subconscious, and when you experience something traumatic and you go through something that's very just life-changing in general, yes, it's going to get stored in the body, guys. And so what happens is sometimes you're not even thinking anxious thoughts. I know maybe if this is a question you guys have, sometimes you're not even thinking anxious thoughts, or you're not even focused on anything worrisome, but yet the feeling of anxiety comes up. And this is something that I was going through, right? I'm a very positive individual, but I noticed that when I did have anxiety, and And I've only had anxiety, honestly, for a period of a year. I haven't had anxiety longer than that, guys, in my life. Obviously, I've had moments where I've felt anxiety, but it was only a full year where I was really feeling anxious a lot, you know. However, for me, it wasn't my thoughts necessarily. It was just something in my body, you know, that kept on bringing up this anxiety within me. And I couldn't figure out, like, yo, what's going on? It's not even a thought process. It's more like a feeling in the body. It's just weird. I realized because that anxiety was a reflection of trauma, and that trauma was stuck in my body. So guys, how do you get trauma out of your body? I do have a video on this. I'm going to link that in the description below so you guys can check that video out right after this video. Guys, the best way to release that anxiety from your body is through something called bioenergetics, which are body movements that you can do. And the one I'm going to be talking about primarily is called shaking. So if you've seen animals, you know, shake, you know, violently after something traumatic, like for example, you know, there's videos on YouTube where a duck almost gets eaten by a crocodile, right? And it escapes in time, but right after that experience, right, the duck starts shaking. You've seen your dog shake, you've seen cats shake, right? Animals shake all the time because that's how they get that traumatic experience, or that's how they release that traumatic experience from their body. Same thing with humans. You know, if you've seen, you know, historically, people used to do, you know, crazy dances, crazy movements of just, you know, violently shaking their body. And it may seem like very pagan, quote unquote, or may seem very, you know, just weird. Like, what is this person doing? Why is he shaking like that? It's because, you know, they're trying to release that built up energy in their body. You know, a lot of times people before war, you know, they would have this anxiety built up. Obviously, war is nothing to, you know, go into calmly. There's just, you know, you're wired up. And so they, you know, they do a lot of chants, a lot of shaking, a lot of, you know, aggressiveness. They're releasing that anxious energy, guys. And so I'll link another video to this shaking method that you guys can try. It's pretty much just shake your whole body for a period of time. Could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes, but you shake every part of your body, starting with the legs, the knees, the thighs, right? Then you start shaking your arms, your head, everything, until your whole body is shaking and you're just literally releasing that pent up anxiety, pent up energy inside of you. And slowly, if you can do that for a period of time, guys, you're gonna start feeling so much better. You're gonna start feeling much more relaxed. That somatic, you know, anxiety that you guys have within, it's not gonna come up so much anymore, that feeling, because you're slowly releasing it over time. So continue shaking, guys. It's something that has really changed my life. And whenever I feel anxiety, I always shake. I always, you know, make sure that, hey, I need to get this energy out of my system. Number 4, guys, what you can also do to overcome and beat anxiety is deep breathing, deep belly breathing. A lot of people breathe through their chest. That's not the right way to breathe, guys. That is definitely not the right way to breathe. The best way to breathe is through your belly. So when you breathe, right, make sure your stomach is expanding up and down, right? You have to make sure that it's through your belly, not through your chest, because that's not the proper way to breathe. Also, another method you can try when you're experiencing anxiety is breathe deep in through the nose and then exhale through the mouth, right? And you want to do that because it's going to help you release some of that extra tension you have. Guys, one thing I want to say is the breath is related to the spirit, meaning it's interconnected with the spirit. The breath is spirit. You know, without the breath, there is no life. And so learning how to properly breathe, and especially do, you know, deep belly breathing exercises, will completely change and revolutionize everything about you, about your life. You know, your anxiety, this is honestly a great cure to your anxiety, guys, is deep belly breathing. Take some time, sit down, right, and just breathe deeply. So what you want to do is you want to take a deep breath in, and then you want to exhale all the air out of your system until there's no more air left, and then breathe all of it back in, and then repeat as much as necessary until you finally start feeling a little bit calmer, guys. This is something that's really going to help you. If you start doing deep belly breathing every day along with this shaking, guys, your anxiety is going to go away. That's really what did it for me, was the bioenergetics, the shaking, and, you know, the deep belly breathing. Because like I mentioned before, my anxiety was more in my body rather than my thoughts. Now, if it's in your thoughts, guys, then at that point, you just need to shift your focus, right? And you need to start, and I'll get into that a little bit later on about, you know, if it's more in your psyche, guys, but let's continue. The fifth thing I will recommend, guys, is yoga or some sort of stretching, some sort of body, you know, movement that stills your mind, that quiets down your mind. You see, yoga, now there's a bunch of different yogas out there, guys. I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just talking about a simple act of you stretching your body, because stretching your body is another form of this bioenergetic movement, because certain positions, certain stretching positions can release emotions that are trapped within your body. Now, I remember one time, you know, I was stretching this particular part of my body, and I just started laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing. You know, it was just like this emotion that just came out, and I just kept laughing and laughing for no reason at all. A lot of people in certain positions cannot stop crying, right? And it's just because, you know, there's a bunch of emotions that get trapped in the body, guys. It's just part of, you know, how our biology, how our makeup is psychosomatically. And so the best thing to do is, you know, if you incorporate yoga, if you incorporate some sort of stretching and really stretch out your muscles, your, you know, ligaments, your joints, everything, guys, some of that stuff that's stuck in there will finally make its way out. And that's something that you all need to, you know, do or incorporate. I'm not saying you do everything every day, you know, maybe one day you can do some yoga, one day you can do, you know, deep belly breathing for 10-15 minutes, one day maybe you can do bioenergetic movements like shaking or grounding, which is another one. I'll link all this in my description, guys, so you have, you know, the access to what you need, the tools you need. Next thing I will say is also meditation. Meditation has been practiced for thousands of years, guys, and you know, a lot of people say, hey, I don't have time to meditate. I don't know how to meditate. Meditation just seems so boring. It's just, I get it. I get it, guys. You know, we live in a fast-paced culture, a technologically advanced culture where, yeah, we might not have time. But even if for 5 minutes every single day, guys, maybe it's after, you know, after first thing you wake up, maybe that's the best time for you. Or maybe if it's right before sleep, that's, you know, when I love to do it. Just take 5 minutes, 10, 15, however many minutes you're okay with, right? Take that time and just quiet your mind, right? Just focus, like I said, just focus on your breath, focus on breathing just for 5 minutes. Breathe deeply through your belly, and then slowly your mind will just slow down, right? And it all deals with, you know, like these alpha, gamma, delta waves. You know, sometimes when the brain cycles are too fast throughout the day, because, you know, you're going through a bunch of things throughout the day. You have job, work, kids, school, whatever you have going on. Your brain cycles are, you know, sped up. There are a lot of brain cycles. So through meditation, you slow down the brain cycles, right? And so pretty much after, you know, meditation, you feel calm, you feel relaxed, you feel like, you know, you feel better. You feel like, hey, I can sleep peacefully now. Because I know what I suffered with, right? Anxiety, like I couldn't sleep, guys. I had insomnia for like a good couple of months. Like I had such a hard time falling asleep because there was just this anxiety, this energy within my body that just wouldn't let me fall asleep, no matter how hard I tried. It was just like such a weird feeling, guys. But meditation really helps you calm down before bed, or just any time throughout the day. It's depending on when you do it, guys. So always, you know, try to meditate as much as possible, especially if you're going through a lot of anxiety attacks right now. This is the time where you want to start incorporating these exercises the most, right? Later on, when it starts getting better, guys, then you can slow down and pick and choose what you want to do after. Next thing I want to say, guys, is workout, right? Workout, get a schedule going. So maybe you can work out, you know, 2-3 times a week, depending on your schedule, depending on when you have time. But working out, guys, in general, I love working out because, you know, it's another way to release that energy. It's another way to release, you know, pent up energy that you have, this anxious energy, and go no better way than to go hit the weights, right? Obviously you can do cardio, things like that, but I love lifting weights. I love doing these things, guys, and working out has been something that has just not only improved my health, my physique, but also, you know, it's for my mental health. It's a blessing, guys. It's a blessing to be able to release that energy, especially like, you know, if you're ever feeling stressed, if you're ever feeling angry, if you're ever feeling, you know, like I mentioned, anxious, worried, go hit the weights, and I promise you that post-workout high, so to speak, or whatever it's called, it's going to make you feel so much more relaxed, right? You'll feel so much better after a workout. And, when you really tire out your body, it's easier to fall asleep. It's easier to, drift off and to just be relaxed for the rest of the night, guys. So I always recommend, lifting weights, going hard at the gym if you can, guys. I always recommend that. Next thing I want to say is stay busy, guys. Stay busy. So a lot of times anxiety can come up when we have nothing going on, when we're free. One of my favorite quotes by Napoleon Hill is, "The idle mind is the devil's workshop." Pretty much saying, when you're just sitting around with nothing to do and you're just, hanging out, whatever, sometimes that's when anxiety really comes in out of nowhere. And I know it can be weird, like it just comes out randomly. So sometimes the best thing to get your mind off those anxious thoughts, like I was talking about in the beginning of this video, right? Guys, just stay focused, stay busy, whatever it is. Maybe if it's a creative hobby, maybe you like painting, maybe you like drawing, maybe if it's work, right? When you're busy at work, you notice, hey, maybe I'm not so anxious, but when I come home, then my anxiety kicks in or whatever. Guys, get yourself busy in something, right? Cook, right? Clean, play an instrument, do something, do whatever makes you have fun, guys, because at the end of the day, when you're staying focused and busy, you don't have time to think about anxiety. You don't have time to think those anxious thoughts anymore because you're focused on the task at hand. So stay busy, stay focused, and I guarantee that, slowly over time, all of this is going to dissipate. Now, these are, for me, the things that really helped me cure my anxiety, really overcome my anxiety. I don't really have anxiety anymore, to be honest with you guys. I did, like I mentioned, for a year have a lot of anxiety. I couldn't sleep for, a few months. I had insomnia. I did not go to a doctor. I did not go to any psychotherapist or psychologist or, hypnotist, whatever. I didn't take any medication. I'm actually not a fan of antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications, guys, because a lot of that stuff, numbs your mind. It numbs your emotions. It makes you like a zombie, to be honest, guys. Like, that Prozac smile, it's just like a weird kind of feeling, guys. And a lot of those medications can make you suicidal, and there's a lot of side effects that come with that. So before you take that route, guys, I just want to say, do your research. Make sure the side effects are not, worse than actually the problem that they're curing. So I will highly recommend that incorporate everything I've mentioned in this video first, right? Try this out. I mean, for me, I will definitely say if you can do deep belly breathing and shaking, guys, I would say those are the top two things you need to do. Everything else, will help, yes, of course. But if you can do those top two things, if I had to pick the top two things, shaking, bioenergetics, and deep belly breathing. Obviously, you can add meditation, yoga, stretching, working out, staying busy, focused, active, all that in there. And yes, your anxiety will definitely go away, guys. I promise you. But this is literally how you beat and overcome anxiety. These are some things you're going to have to do. I know, they're going to be new to you if you haven't been doing them, or they're going to be, new to you if you've been sort of in your comfort zone, guys. I get it. But especially if you've been having a lot of anxiety attacks, I know how it feels. It's one of the worst feelings ever. It's almost like you're about to die, So I can only imagine, guys, how it feels. But trust me, I've been through this, and I'm sharing my journey, my lessons with you all. Take it for good use, guys. But thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Give this video a thumbs up. If you guys have any comments, suggestions for other people that may be going through this, leave your suggestions down below in the comments. Please like this video and share it with anybody that you feel like could use this information, especially if someone is going through anxiety. Other than that, it's your boy Sabby. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace. Have a blessed day.